What's up, guys? Alabajero here. Just wanted to give you guys a rundown on 4 EDC knives that I think are a bit less talked about or less unknown. There are a couple companies that, are kind of obscure in this, especially this one. I believe this one, I don't even think this has a name for this knife. But these are all knives you can find readily available on either Amazon or this one is through Knife Global. So starting off with that one, this is I don't remember the actual model name. I'll go ahead and I'll put it somewhere here. I'll put it in. But this is the Geo Knife. It is a D2 steel knife with a maybe like sheep's foot style blade. As you can see, which I hadn't even noticed, this has a little bit of rust already forming here because the same company that makes this knife, I believe, partnered with Kubi, and they manufacture this, and they bead blast their D2. So just know, bead blasted D2 can get pretty rusty quick if you're not taking care of it and wiping it down. So yeah, you got some rust formations right there. Not a big deal. You can hit it with some WD, take it off. Again, I'm not worried about D2. I live in a very, hot climate, dry climate, so it doesn't really worry me. Really like the G10 on here. It's a tan G10. You got a deep carry pocket clip. Not inset, the pocket clip, but the screws are inset, so that's pretty good. Action, being, a Kubi made knife, is great. Flicks right out with that thumb hole, or sorry, that deployment hole. You got a nice sharpening choil there. As you can tell, the plunge doesn't start until there. So you got a good amount of life. Nice belly on this to make nice types of cuts. You can use this for food prep, anything like that. And then a nice nice tip right there to really get into cuts. You got your jimping right here in the back. Nice little thumb ramp on there. So you feel real secure. I really like this design. This design actually is not unique to this knife. This knife handle, I should say. Kubi uses this on the Kubi Coas, on the Vagrant. I think that's it. And obviously on this one. They have another Kubi. I'm not sure if it's the Duroc or the Atlas, one of those two, that has a very similar design to this. So what I think happened is Geo Knife, just told Kubi, hey, make us a knife. And they took a model previous that they had and just kind of tweaked a couple things and then threw the Geo emblem on there. But yeah, this is a really cool knife. It's not, amazing in any way. But it really does, it's a worker. Real comfortable, again, in hand. It has a G10 backspacer with a lanyard hole, which I failed to mention that, but it's actually, cool little add-on that a lot of Kubis don't even have, the G10 backspacer. So that was pretty cool. So yeah, this is a very, I'd recommend this knife to anybody. And again, I think I mentioned this when I reviewed this knife, $25 knife. I believe it was $20 or $25, one of those two, but excellent price on this. This is really a bargain. So yeah, that is the Geo Knife. Next up, we got the Land. I believe it's the 842B. This is in a G-Mascus, or kind of a mixed G10. Real soft on there, no texture on the G-Mascus here, but you have this little insert here of G10 with a little bit of added traction, I guess. This goes on both sides right here. A lot of people I had heard maybe were scared that this was gonna shred up your pockets and stuff, since the pocket clip lands right on this texture G10. But it's not that bad, honestly. This G10 isn't super rough, and it comes in and out of pocket pretty well. You got a deep carry pocket clip inset with inset screws, so that's great. It's not completely deep carry. You see just a little bit right there sticks out. And then you have a G10 back spacer with a little bit of jimping and a lanyard hole. This is on a axis lock. I believe this is also a D-shaped pivot on here. So that's pretty nice. And you got your axis lock here and a deployment disc. So this was actually my first deployment disc. With time, this thing does wear. As you can see, this was all black, and now you can see a little bit of the, the black kind of rubbed off of this. So yeah, that's something to consider. But all around, I love this knife. You got yourself a drop point blade with a nice cutout swedge right here. Really dig the profile of this blade right here. Nice. Right there, you can see the plunge. So you got a nice sharpening life on this. This is a VG10 steel right here. Not sure if you can make it out right there. VG10. And I'd say this is my first experience with G10 that I've had, and it takes a very sharp edge. I think this is one of the ones that's probably, considering I have a lot of D2, that's a little bit harder to sharpen. This one's fairly easy to sharpen and takes a very sharp edge. It doesn't hold it for the longest, but because of this blade stock, it's not too thick. It's still a very, very nice slicer. And you really don't have to worry about rust or anything like that, being VG10. This is running on, if I didn't mention, this was running on bearings. Sorry, guys. This is running on bearings, so it's super smooth. This is running on phosphor bronze washers. So it is still super smooth, it being on the axis lock, but it's not going to be that, super glassy smooth feeling. This, I think, is more of a worker. You can get really good knife control with this little thumb disc right here. No jimping on here or anything, but you still feel very much in control. Really like this handle. I dig the design on it. I really love the attention to detail on all this. I feel like it's a bit different. Kind of gives me James brand vibes. There's a model that they make very similar to this, especially because of the thumb disc. But other than that, Land did their thing on this. Very cool design, very good use you can get out of this knife. Definitely with that axis lock, super, comfortable and secure. So yeah, that is the Land 842B. All right, next up we have the Guardian Eagle knife. This one, again, oh, and then I didn't mention for the price of this one, about maybe $50, I believe. $50 for this one. This one right here, crazy amazing deal on Amazon. $12 to $13, I believe I got this for, which is ridiculous. This knife, I think, really has stood out. I haven't owned it for too long, maybe about three weeks, but I've been kind of testing it out, taking it to work, making cuts with it, and it's really impressed me. I mean, for the value, it's just, I mean, it's not even, there's no way this is a $12 knife. I mean, they actually had it on sale and stuff, but this competes with a lot of knives that are in the, $30, $40, $50 range just because of the quality. I think this company, although they didn't give this a name, I think this company might, make some pretty good products, hopefully in the future. Considering if this is their first one, they did a really good job. So you got G10 here. You have a texture G10 with just a line pattern on there. So I like that. That's different. It's something that this knife actually has a lot of things that they could have done and just cut corners, but they didn't, which I love. They did that texture G10, like I'm saying. They could have just done a normal texture, but they went with this instead, which is different, and I like it. Blue pivot collar. Nice pop of color on there. And we have a D2 stonewash blade. You have, again, they could have just done a satin, but they did a stonewash, which is amazing. You have a deep carry, actual deep carry, inset screws with inset pocket clip. So again, they could have not recessed the screws. They could have not recessed the pocket clip, but they did. You got a lanyard hole here. Not my favorite, but that's fine. And this blade, guys. Every time I show this knife, that's all I look at is how cool this blade is with this cutout swedge right here, and you know, the flat grind down, that beautiful stonewash. You have jimping here with some added chamfering here, which again, they didn't have to do. They could have just given you, you know, very similar, boring jimping. For example, like this, they could have just given you this, you know, just a little bit of that, but instead they give you something a little bit different with a jimping that is chamfered on the sides, so it makes for a very comfortable place to rest your thumb. And again, that blade shape is awesome. I've been using this knife, pretty thin blade stock, not super thin, but pretty thin, and it is definitely performing well. This is D2. It doesn't say on the actual blade the steel type, but from what I could tell on the Amazon posting, it is D2, and I feel like it is right. I don't think they would lie about that. This is running on bearings as well. Not the smoothest action, honestly, but it's still, you know, it's still pretty decent. I did a flipper tab removal. I actually need to do just a little bit more detailed work on that to remove that last little edge right here. But I just prefer hole deployment. And yeah, this one is it really surprised me. This is a really, really well-made knife. It's super solid in hand, very comfortable, especially on that choke up right there, or not choke up, but resting your thumb on that jimping. I feel super, super nice. And the build quality is super solid. There's no up and down, no side to side. It's very well chamfered, all this G10 and the steel liners. You got some weight, you know, removed right there from the liner, so that's great. Yeah, this one it really surprised me. This is a really good pickup. Not sure if they still have it at that price. I think you could still get it for around $20, and I believe they even offer a micarta and PVD coated style of, or steel of this blade, so that's pretty cool. All right, moving on to the last one. I have the, God, what is this? Oh yeah, this is the FreeTIger FT, what is it? FT2103 in D2 again. This one's a little bit different. I did a little bit of modifications to this. Black washed, or acid washed and stone washed this blade. I also got these thumb studs from Amazon, threw them on here, kind of like a bronze goldish, you know, thumb stud on there. You got G10 right here, very, very nice G10 with an axis lock on here. I tried to, I actually hot blued or bronzed this pivot collar right there and the screws, and I tried to do this axis lock as well, but it didn't turn out as bronze as the screws. But this is a, you know, kind of just my modding knife that I've been practicing, you know, modding on, and I kind of like it. It's very beat up because I use it a lot. Very nice thin blade stock on this, so that's a big plus. Drop point blade. This one's a real slicer as well. It takes a very sharp, very sharp, very sharp sharpening. And yeah, you got your little lanyard hole right there. Very comfortable in hand. I wish they would have had jimping right here. That would have just made it a little bit sweeter just to choke up on right here. And then I put this little cutout right here so I can access the thumb studs a bit more, just because the way it was made was like this and you couldn't really get a nice good, you know, access to those thumb studs. But the action on this is great. This is actually a very, very fidgety knife. I love the acoustics on this. Makes really, you know, nice sounds. Very smooth on bearings as well, and super secure. Nice, decently sized knife as well. So you get, you know, a lot of blade. And again, this is, I believe, a $25 to $30 knife. So it gives you. Sorry, guys. So yeah, this is a really good user right here. I get a lot of use out of it just because of that thin blade stock. Just really goes through material really well. So yeah, this is a sub, I think it's like $25 to $30 knife. So I think you get a really good deal off of this one right here. And the action is great. The pocket clip, deep carry, but not exactly all the way deep. You do have a lot more sticking out there, and the screws and the pocket clip are not inset. So that's a bum right there. It does have weight relief in there for you guys. But yeah, this one's more of a definite user. You get a lot of good use out of this one. That security of the access lock feels really great in hand. You do have nice amount of handle there and blade. So yeah, that is the, why do I forget? FreeTIger. Yeah, FreeTIger FT2103, guys. All right, and that's all the knives. Let me just open them up so you guys can see all of them one last time. All right, there they are, guys. Let me know if you guys like any of these and why, or if you guys dislike any of these and why, or if you guys have any recommendations, any info I didn't put on in the video of these. Go ahead and let me know. Like and subscribe, guys. Take it easy. Bye-bye.